G'day and welcome to Club Prairie Fire, the home of Tequila, Tabasco and the mighty Duckworth Lewis Stern system. This, as Ollie just said, is Season 8, what I'm coining as the hot and steamy English summer season. So good to be back. Goodness me, it's been 7 weeks off and haven't we missed it? So lovely to see you three gentlemen. I've really missed you guys. I've actually just been sitting staring at my computer for 7 weeks hoping you would jump back on, and you finally have. So that's good. That's a nice end to that torture for me. So what has happened while we've been away? Well, England said a teary goodbye to one of their finest servants. The King of Swing, Jimmy Anderson, finished up. Then they went on to beat the Windies 3-0 in a very gripping test series. I watched every ball. Could not turn away. The current ODI World Cup runners-ups, India, lost to an inspired Sri Lanka in the most unpredictable of ODI series for the first time since 1997. Those bright teal terminators, the Oval Invincibles, they won the 100 for the second time on the trot, turning the Southern Brave Men into the Southern Sad Men. Bazball, co-creator Stokesy, well, he's hurt his hamstring and has handed on the captaincy to El Santro Padre. That's right, Ollie Pope will lead the Three Lions for the series against Sri Lanka. And finally, the biggest news of the lot, Club Prairie Fire has done what they like to call in the biz a rebrand. Yes, that's right, folks. Have a look behind us, behind Ollie and I. Here it is. It's a good look. It's a good feel. We got new colours, a whole new selection of stuff. We are real, people. This is a real podcast, and we are here. Now, let me bring in these other three gents. Let's start with a man who, just before we got on the call, told me he has watched so much cricket. It's a ridiculous amount of cricket. It's all that he's been doing. Please welcome from Perth, Adam Gilchrist. Gilly.
Oh, I thought you were in Vaughany there. Hello, gents. Great to see you. Great to chat. Did we have 7 weeks off? Is that what you were saying there? Gee, that flew by, didn't it?
Just not for me, mate. Counted every second. Not for me. I counted every second.
But the rebrand. Sorry, just quickly, the rebrand. So does that mean that they can go in the bin? Those limited edition, very limited edition Club Prairie Fire caps with our original badging on them.
They're founding members. If you've got one of those,
members,
you're an original.
like that.
Yeah,
always a good take on it.
Yeah, those can definitely go in the bin. Gilly, and the other man, please welcome up there. Up in the summery north, he looks a little bit sun-kissed here, doesn't he? Please welcome the former skipper of England, Mr. Michael Vaughan. Vaughany.
Yeah, good evening, lads. Nice to be back. It's been it's flown by, hasn't it? The 7 weeks. I've had a little bit of cricket here in the UK. England back on track, hammering the mighty West Indies in a tremendous series. Snuck over to Portugal, went to Prague, had a few days in Prague. Talk more about that, no doubt. Got myself some new shades. Get ready for those. And Raygun hit the news, didn't she?
She did.
Let's talk about Raygun, the old.
Yeah. She was
magnificent.
Vaughany, it should have been 19 gold medals for Australia.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe she is the greatest thing to ever come out of Australia. She has to be up there.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, why did she not carry the flag at the closing ceremony? That is
she
a very good point.
She could have jumped with the flag, couldn't she?
She could have the whole way.
Yeah, magnificent.
That's a real shame. Now we need to bring in the other member of the team, another Englishman that actually calls Australia home. Ollie, our erstwhile producer, welcome. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Prof. Yes, very well. Very excited to be back. Very excited to be back.
Now you were behind the rebrand. Can you tell us about the colour, the feel? What is it meant to do for our viewers and listeners of the show?
Yes, well, it's big thanks to Nick at Poloco who's done it all for us. The colours have fantastic names. I think the cream is Umbro or similar. The green has a special name, and also we got the final pack last night, which is a brand new Supermoon.
Right.
So I don't know what that does, but there's something that aligns with our chakras and everything. And the drop was perfect timing. So I'm excited for season 8 to see what it brings out. Yeah.
Now, and I believe you've also come. We've a sponsor is back. It's a new sponsor, an old sponsor.
It's an old sponsor. They were emailing every week. Where are you? Where are you? NordVPN. They've been checking all the guys' socials. and they've gone, well, they're everywhere. What's Vaughany watching in Prague? Obviously was a big thing for them because we remember the Prague printer gate with Mrs. Vaughan sorting out the ballet tickets and the flights from months ago. They've seen Gilly. I mean, when we last spoke, you were just finishing Mexico, and now you've been in the middle of nowhere, looks like, with your son in Perth, doing all sorts of fun activities around there. So they are back with their exclusive deal. NordVPN.com/CPF is the 4 free months and 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So on that quickly, we need to see what the guys are watching. What have you been watching with maybe a little less time for cricket, I think it's fair to say? What have you been dialing into?
Well, I did tap into my NordVPN account, but have we done a pod since I was in the town of Tequila?
No, so we are going to get into that.
That's where I last used my account to tap into my good old mighty Carlton Blues in the AFL competition, which they didn't get up that day, and they have only just won their first game since last weekend. So it's been a tough month actually for the Carlton Blues, and but you're right, I was able to watch a glorious loss due to my NordVPN account over there in Mexico, in the town of the Origin, the Tequila Origin, which was that's for another chat a little later on too.
Vaughany, what have you been watching
I
in
used
Prague?
mine actually in Prague. It's where I caught Reagan. That's where I caught Reagan on NordVPN. As I was in Prague, just kind of tapping away. I thought, how do I watch? And there you go. And suddenly, I'll be honest with you, I've not heard of Reagan before. She popped onto the dance floor.
No, I don't think many had. So you were Did you watch it live, or were you sort of catch up on socials and stuff?
I'll be totally honest with you. I had a WhatsApp from a mate where, whatever you do, put on the Olympics now.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of...
Just briefly on Prague, I mean, I'm into this ice bath stuff and heat just to try and get the body going. So I went to this hotel, and it was, I can't remember what they called it. It was a wellness centre. And it's the first time in my life where I've gone into a sauna and a woman has come in and gone, "Excuse me, sir, you have to take your shorts off." It was a naked sauna. And this lady told me off for having shorts on in the sauna.
Were you wearing your Ray-Bans? Were you wearing the glasses?
No, I didn't have the Ray-Bans on with the video, which would have been very handy, wouldn't it? It would have been some good footage through the metas. But yeah, she came in, knocked and she goes, "Excuse me, sir, but you have to take your shorts off. It's a naked sauna." So whipped them off. Marvellous.
Yeah.
Well, luckily,
appropriate.
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't the cold plunge. I guess if she'd asked you in there, then it's a whole...
I'll be honest with you. If it had been after the cold plunge, I'd have waited a few minutes before I strolled into the sauna.
We are on these sunglasses. There's a lot to chat about. Just so people understand why it would be good for you to have these sunglasses in the sauna. Can you explain to us what they are, Vaughany?
Did you see the light?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just filming you guys now. Dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. I can get people on camera that they have no clue that I'm filming them. Like being a detective, and you just click it
legal?
off.
Is that legal?
Well, I'm not too sure. Not too sure. I actually caught out Long Tom Moody on the pitch the other day. He's in charge of the Invincibles that have won the 100 once again. Managed to get a conversation on the pitch with him. He had no clue that I was talking to him through my little lenses.
And I noticed on your socials you've been filming a fair bit of your paddle through your...
had some good games. Got an epic game today, actually. Good games, some nice spots. The UK, there's a belter in London. Paddle Social. It's got everything there. It's got rooftop bars. It's got Camden Hells on tap. It's got ice baths. It's got sauna, burger bar. Oof, marvelous.
That sounds good. Now, so did somebody give you these glasses, Vaughany, or
No. It's my daughter Tallulah. She bought them for my birthday. My birthday's not till October, but my mate brought some to our holiday, and I wore them all the time. And she kind of just nipped in there, and she wanted to get it before anyone else did. Okay, so a few months early, but got them. Lovely. Fit all right as well, don't they? Look quite cool.
Oh yeah, mate. Outstanding.
If you're listening to this, you need to look. Speaking of your family, Vaughan, there's
and
one
also
other
I'll take
thing.
a picture of us. See, that's just a picture.
All right, there you go.
Go again, lads. Go on, then, pose.
That-
Put your pose on. There you
that
go.
works.
Great.
See if they
Thanks,
come
Joe.
through
Listen
the
to this.
work.
While you look at that picture, in the time we're off as well, Discord has still been going every week. They're asking, so that's www.clubprairiefire.com.au. There's been a bit of content. Lou has nearly finished the portrait. She touched base again last week. But one thing that did get shared, speaking of your family, Vaughany, I wasn't sure to bring it up, but boy, it was unlucky. Archie's first full starting debut got shared on there. Run out for 0 without facing a ball at the non-strike. Tell us more, because that's done some numbers on Discord.
Yeah, it's a good start to have. Yeah, didn't even smoke a ball. Run out of the non-strikers then, but his team, they've got through to the final.
Yeah.
They're
Of
playing
which
the final, the Metro Bank Cup. Yeah, they're in the final. They're going to play
Right.
Glamorgan, Trent Bridge in September. So the mighty Somerset have snuck through with their young team, which is good. He played against Ajinki Rihani. I tell you, who's in his team, Riley Meredith.
Oh,
Quick.
Ooh,
Yeah, right.
the cash.
Exactly.
Still got the cash.
Leach rolling them out. Yeah.
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 Now,
So Pete Hanscom, he got 100 in the semi-final.
yeah.
Didn't manage to get over the line though, but yeah, Somerset made it to the final, which is good.
Well, Archie's already won a title this year. That I remember watching. You were watching it online, or what was it? Was it his not his school? They were playing at some school that you were watching a game on.
Well, yeah, they lost the final.
Oh, they lost the final.
They lost the final. They lost the final.
Oh, they won the semi. That's right. I remember that one.
They won the semi.
You're thinking of Vaughany Church.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Vaughany Church.
Now,
Yeah.
we did tease it earlier. You have in the 7 weeks off, you did make yourself, you made your way over to the home of tequila. We know that this whole podcast is basically named on your love of tequila. We're pretty surprised you left. We thought you'd just gone there, and we thought that was it. That was the last we'd see of Adam Gilchrist. Why did you go there, and how was your time there?
Look, I did consider not coming back. There's no doubt about that. That is absolute heaven. It is, in the state of Jalisco, in sort of mid western Mexico, the capital Guadalajara. But then you go out about an hour, and you are in the Tequila Valley, the town of Tequila. Funnily enough, there is fucking tequila everywhere. It is a plethora of tequila. It's just, as far as the eye can see, agave fields, plantations, distilleries everywhere, shot glasses everywhere. But I did want to ask, at the source, do they feel that by putting Tabasco into the tequila, is that ruining it? Is that taking away the purity of it? And to a man and lady, they all said absolutely not. They said that is the hidden ingredient that we've all been looking for. They've never thought of it before. So the Prairie Fire is launched. It's off and running in Mexico. But I was out there on a little investigative mission to see whether we can further progress the chances of a tequila label.
No, and on that mission, we did have a message in Discord from one of you saying, "Is Gilly looking for the goat?" So, did you find the trophy from season 2? I think it was.
Oh, God, who knows what season? One
Any
of them.
goats?
No. In the last month or two, we've got a new puppy dog, and she's contributing as much as she can to trying to form some sort of goat trophy. But no, it was a good trip. Good trip. I'll keep you updated as we progress. It's a work in progress. But
does tequila taste better in tequila? Because obviously champagne tastes better in champagne. Beer tastes better in. Is there a place called Beer?
Prague.
I'm assuming there is. Prague. In Prague. Does it taste better in tequila, Gilly?
It does. It does indeed.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, tremendous. So we'll keep you up on that. Keep you updated on that one. Hey, I just had a thought. Just backtracking a little bit. Vaughany, the nude sauna. I've had sent to me, and I don't know whether they have or aren't. This might be a delicate issue here, Ollie. Just waved a yes or no. Don't say it, but something about grooming products. Are we allowed to mention them?
Have we got? Are we using them yet?
Next week is officially when I've penciled in. But yeah, you both should have been received a little treat that we will be discussing.
And I can clarify that I'd received my little treat, and I'd had a little go.
Excellent. Okay. That's all we needed to know. I just wanted to make sure that there was no, it wasn't the sort of Kakadu National Park in there where, things were getting a bit out of control and overgrown. So that's good to know that you had some pride in your presentation there in Prague.
Absolutely. Look, I tell you what, there's a lot of gadgets in that little.
All right, there's a good product tease. I think we hold it, boys.
But you've got to be very careful that you don't put the wrong device on the end when you start having the pop, because
for the wrong part of the anatomy. Yeah.
Just there's a nice little one for the ears.
Yeah, which is what you don't want to use on the orchestra stall.
That'd be very handy for you. Very handy for you, Gilly.
They sent me an absolute full-blown whippersnipper for my ears to try and get around.
I mean, this tease is so good. We can do it now.
Can we do it now?
We can do it now.
Oh, well, Ollie's given us the green light. So who wants to? Ollie, it's over to you, mister.
Well, gents, you happen to be talking about Manscaped.
That's the one. Yes. Yeah.
Welcome, Manscaped.
Well, they again. Loved the show, obviously. They got in touch a few weeks back, and I thought they asked for your addresses. So I said, send over the kits, and they will sort you out. I don't think it was to do with your appearances per se, or anything like that. But we get 20% off with the code CPF. So on the back of manscaped.com, if you sign up, you get that. Then you are laughing. And as you mentioned, there is a bit of everything from beard trimmers, bald trimmers, ball deodorant you may have come across.
You need that in the sauna.
In the deck. Yeah. It's a fantastic piece of kit.
Tom, who works here in the studio, has just gone to get it. So I'll be able to show you some of it as you describe it. I don't think we'll do a live demonstration.
No, probably no, probably not.
We could, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's very exciting. And so what do they do? Sorry, they go on, they use the code.
Go on, manscaped.com/CPF. Use that code for 20% off of that huge pack that all the boys have got there. And next week, we will be able to bring it out. We'll show you the different components of it.
Okay. I don't know. We might get it in time. We'll see. Now, gents, I'm reading the rundown here, and this is apparently a cricket podcast. I'm not sure. Is that right? Am I reading that correctly? I believe so. So, Vaughany, might. Yes, go, Gilly, before I get into it. Go for it.
Oh, no, it's cricket related. I just wanted to get this in there. I'd be interested in all of your points of view, and certainly our listeners, and we'll get some feedback on our socials now. The IPL, I believe all the franchise owners have been in discussion with the governing body about how to move forward. They're due for a complete big auction every 3 years. They basically wipe the slate clean. You're allowed to, I think, previously retain 4 players, and the rest go back in the melting pot, and you have to buy them back if you want them. A few franchises, Vaughany, I believe, are pushing to scrap the retention at all, don't have any. Others want to be able to scrap the auction and keep everyone you want to keep. What do you reckon is the way forward, mate?
Oh, I can't. No. Do you know what? I haven't really had time to think about that one, Gilly.
Prof?
I would say I like the draft that you can get an auction and buy a few players. I can't imagine that it'll be good for the tournament if you can keep all your players, because it'll just make the better teams become so much better. What's really good about the franchise league is, for instance, the 100, which is this magnificent tournament in the UK that the whole of the country absolutely adores. There's not one person in England that doesn't like it. It's magnificent. Every year, the team that finishes bottom gets the first draft the following year. You know, Freddie Flintoff was coach of the Superchargers. They got first pick this year. They got Nicholas Pooran. He won them 2 or 3 games on his own. So they went further up the league this year. So it made it more competitive. So I do think the draft system, the auction system, it kind of levels it up. Very similar to what happens in America with their sports. So I actually like it. I like it. Yeah. But you can keep your core, you know, your spine of your team. I think it's important that you can keep that core team part of your team. But look, I do like the auction when from nowhere someone goes for $4 million and then someone goes for about £5.50. It is quite unusual.
How many of the Oval Invincibles that won yesterday or in the last 48 hours, how many of that 11 would have played in the winning final last year, do you think?
Yeah, no, I think they can keep a core of 10. I don't think it was 10 of the 11 in the final. I mean, Zampa was there. The old, he's got a little goat, hasn't he? He's got a pygmy goat.
He does,
we were talking about his little goat on commentary the other day. The Curran brothers, Sam Billings, obviously Tom Moody. He's the supremo there. So they have kind of a core group of players that seem to be rolling out every year. 2-2 back-to-backs for the Invincibles. So I like it. I think you should be able to keep your core kind of group together.
So, Gilly, are you saying that every year they completely turn over every roster? So basically,
every 3 years.
That's what they're asking.
Let's go back to before the first IPL. It was a complete everyone in the melting pot, and there's an auction. Except for there was one icon player for Indian for each team. So Sachin was Mumbai, Dhoni was Chennai, and so on. So they then had the big auction, and you build your team. After 3 years, you're allowed to retain 4 players, but everyone else gets cleaned out. And every year they have what's called the mini auction, where you can top up for players that aren't taken or suddenly appear and you want to get in. But every third year, again, retain 4, clean them out. So there's a sentiment that maybe you lose a bit of touch with your sort of tribal fan base, because you get back to a new IPL and you go, takes me half the season to work out who's playing for who and who went where. But so the sentiment from some of the franchises is keep it together, retain it. So you've built this. I agree with Vaughany. I reckon about eight's probably a decent number to be able to be kept. And then, the rest of that playing 11 or the rest of your squads, where you've got to work out your trade and your value and the player type that you need to fill in.
Hey, Ollie, just on the 100, the teams are going to be sold. There's a huge amount of investment. Quite a lot of the Indian franchises look like they're going to be bidding for a number of the teams. Obviously, the podcast is doing so well. Have we got 20 million in the bank yet that we could bid for a team? We could call one of the teams the Club Prairie Fire 100 ball team. Have we got 20 mil yet?
Zimbabwean dollars, yes.
Yeah. And if everyone who watches this buys 10 Manscaped boxes, we might get close.
Well, we did. The other thing is, Vaughany, we were close, but then this whole rebrand, I mean, it
cost a lot.
That
cost
flame.
a fortune,
Flame.
19 million right there.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously we bought a new studio as well.
Yeah, that's right.
We've all bought new studios. So so we've not got much left in the coffers for the 100 ball team. That'd have been good to own a team, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, we saw Horny Church, Cluj. We've got a couple.
So who would be the coach out of you two?
Hey, I got bumped in. Someone in London bumped into me from Horny Church.
Do you mean the cricket side, or were they just coming out of the parish?
It was a Sunday morning. Hey, what happened? Did you ever get an explanation from the BCCI?
Yeah.
Have we put closure on that or what?
No, didn't even get a response.
Oh, come on.
Outrageous. Very, very poor form from Jay Shah and his team at the BCCI. Not even to acknowledge a bit of interest.
Yeah.
Is there not an opening somewhere else currently, Vaughany, where you were very good in your day as a player? Is there not an opening as a white ball coach?
Well, that's Well, my kind of opening partner throughout the early 2000s, Marcus Trescothick's in there as interim.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could just watch this space, isn't it? Just watch this space, just see where we end up.
Well, did India, I actually remember, announce white ball coach as well? Just because they're obviously struggling after a defeat 2-0 and a tie with Sri Lanka.
Gautam's doing the lot. Gambia's doing. I think he's doing pretty much everything.
Might be too much for him.
I like Ricky Ponting, the way that Ricky Ponting ruled himself out of the job without even being mentioned.
He might. Well, there's a vacancy now at KKR, isn't there, where Galton came from? So
and Ricky did say that he wouldn't mind having another crack at another IPL franchise, didn't he? Because he's obviously left Delhi now, and that's Delhi is Saurav Ganguly's doing Delhi. Is that correct?
Yeah. He and Ricky have been there in unison, in complete harmony for the last 2 years.
Yes.
Where did Delhi finish in the end? Were they ninth?
Delhi Capitals, lads, have bought Hampshire Cricket Club.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought the whole, and I've been told off because I keep calling it the Aegeus Bowl, but I didn't realise it's now called the Utility Bowl. It's changed sponsors.
Wow! So they bought the ground, or
They bought everything. Hampshire Cricket, they own the ground, the hotel, the golf course. That is a good buy. You get a golf course at Hampshire, and they own 51% of the Southern Brave 100 ball team.
Well,
so actual fat lads. If Ollie, if we can get to about 50 million, we can probably buy Yorkshire Cricket Club, which includes 51% of the superchargers.
Oh,
okay. Well, obviously
can we get to 50 mil? Can we get?
Yeah, that'd be easier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the Delhi Capitals were going to they were going to do a rebrand, but then they decided instead.
Yeah.
Let's go and spend 50 million.
50 mil.
Jeez, that's good if you can get it.
You should see their studio. It's
well, you get the ground. So if we can get to that, we own Headingley, so we can do whatever we want at Headingley.
Oh, that is.
We own the whole ground. We can play where we want. We can just hang out. We can live there if we want.
That'd be good. Wow. We could get monster trucks and drive them around there.
Do what we want.
Whatever we want.
We can get a night with ray gun, get her in the middle, get everyone there.
Hey, boys, quick one. So the guy that owns this studio, Hugo, who you've met, he went to school with ray gun. And he, about a month before the Olympics, said to us, watch this space. He said, this girl is going to go big. And we were saying, well, come on, let's help us out. Get her in here. We can interview her. And he said, she's too big for us, boys. She's too big. And then sure enough, boom,
blown up,
viral.
Do you think Hugo could get her on the pod? I mean, that'd be.
I think they're still Facebook friends from school days. They went,
Just quietly on Raygun, is it correct that she was the selector of who went to be the breakdancer for Australia in the Olympics?
Allegedly.
Herself?
Isn't it allegedly?
There's a fair bit of controversy. Well, I think the husband,
allegedly, yeah.
The husband's the coach. Well, there's been video surfaced of the person she beat.
Excuse me, did you say she had a coach?
Yeah, her husband and partner's a coach. Yeah.
So that routine was worked on.
Yes, Vaughany. I want to see you try and do it.
She's very good. And if you saw her afterwards, she said, "Some judges don't understand my moves and my creative flow. I was never going to compete with the power game of other dancers, but the interpretation of it."
It's not an easy event because they don't get to know the music, do they? And they've just got to react. Is that correct?
It's now been dropped from the next Olympics anyway.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Hey, what a great time to bring up a new cricket topic, though.
Oh, yeah.
2028 cricket back in LA.
Yep.
In that Olympics. And Pat Cummins has said if he's fit and ready and available, he would love to play in the Olympics. I mean, is this something that you guys felt like you missed out on in your career? Oh, okay. Gilly?
Well, I had the good fortune of playing in the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
You must have won it.
Sorry?
You must have won that.
We came second, actually. We got silver.
Who beat you?
We actually forgot to sort of focus back on the cricket, and we were so entertained by all the other events, all the other activities around the games and the games village. A little bit disappointing. South Africa got the better of us in the final. It was.
Nobody ever talks about that with South Africa. It's always.
I honestly, I don't think South Africa had ever won anything. But I didn't realize they were gold medalists.
They won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in that thriving cricket metropolis of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So the pitches were slightly worse than what we saw in the T20 World Cup in the USA. It was sort of 80 versus 70, a hard fought, 70 nearly got them across. We played Canada in our first match, and we knocked them over pretty cheap, and Junior and I went out to chase them down, and we I got knocked over, and then we knocked them off. I think we chased 40, and we got them, and we were both teams were lining up to get something to eat at lunchtime. The game was already over, and the Canadian captain said, "Oh shit, this is embarrassing. That it's taken longer to line up to get my food than the whole bloody match took." So he was a little bit out of his depth at the time, but we came second, which is actually probably one thing that is a bit of a frustration in my career.
Mm. Yeah,
there you go.
I'd like to go to the Olympics. Don't think I'm going to get picked anymore. But
well, there was some interesting events, right, Gilly? So there was the gentleman from Turkey who was probably of your vintage.
Yep.
Just stood with a hand on the hip, boom. Because is
it true that he had one Prairie Fire before each round?
Might have been a couple based on the look of him. I love the story, though. He took up shooting because he had a bad breakup with his ex-wife. And then when he got interviewed after winning the silver, the comment he made was, "I want my dog back, Sandra." I think her name was Sandra, or that was not. I'm so stoked to get the silver. It's "I want my dog back, Sandra." The other one, Gilly, was the skateboarder who was 49. Do you remember the country? Was he South African?
South African.
Yeah.
So
yes,
age is not. It's not a. Well,
so
it's not going to get you a number. It's just a number.
So I'll be 57 at the Olympics. So
are you on about playing, Gil? Go back and play,
yeah. Yep. I won't play anything between now and then, but I'll see how we go.
Is there anyone else you can represent than Australia? Because I say this because the big news, and we have some friendly rivalry, a couple of English, couple of Aussie.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Tequila. Mexico.
Because Matthew, have you seen this? The cyclist Matthew Richardson has just won some medals for Australia, and he's just swapped to GB.
Yes.
Exactly. He was born in Maidstone, left when he was 9 to Australia, and he's now swapped back over. And we got us thinking, any of your teammates ever do that during an Ashes? Just, what, I would like to play.
Yeah, we've lost a couple in a row here. I'm going to play for the other team.
Because I've got
I think there was quite a lot of England players in the 90s that would have loved to have played for Australia.
Would they have got picked? Sorry, it was probably more the question.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm going to my family tree now and trying to see if there's anything that links back to Guadalajara. And,
it's pretty big news, though, for our podcast that you have just announced that in 2028 you're coming out of retirement. I think we should lead with that.
That'll be clipped out.
Yeah.
That'll be clipped out.
Adam Gilchrist unretired.
Well, we spoke earlier. You mentioned Pro about Jimmy Anderson obviously saying farewell to the game. Magnificent few days at Lords. There's not many players that go out with a testimonial at Lords, but to go out down in a party Guinness on the balcony. In front of a huge amount on the pitch, like the old days, when the crowd used to run on the pitch in the Benson Hedges final or NatWest Trophy final. It was fantastic to see Jimmy neck apart. I think he did it in about 3.1 seconds. It was a good effort.
Absolutely.
But Jimmy, actually, a week or so ago, he came out about potentially coming and playing in the 100 ball. The 100 ball, the ball's been swinging. Apparently, there's the big H on one side, and this year's batch of balls have been moving around, so it's not been quite as easy. I think he fancied it. Yeah, coming and having a little bit of a try. I think he'll be 43 next year, running in for the 100.
How many overs is it in the 100, the bowlers?
No, 8 Pro, you get shot saying overs. It's balls.
Sets of
it's
5
balls. And you can bowl 10 on the trot if you bowl.
Did you know that, Gilly?
Did you? Balls.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
And there have been some unbelievable sets of 5.
So what do you call them? Sets of
5.
You can't say, it's not sets. It's not sets. I've been told off for that. It's just balls.
So when you look up on a scorecard, like I looked up online just before to see what Zampa's figures were in that final, and it still has what we would traditionally say the number 4 in the overs column. Do they call it? Is that a set? Or did he just bowl 4 balls for those 28 runs that got hit off him? So he got absolutely spanked, did he?
No, he bowled 20 balls. But online, you're absolutely right, Gil. I mean, the ECB are brilliant. They're going to make a huge amount of money about selling these 100 teams, but they don't come out and publicly back this tournament. They kind of hide behind it because a lot of the traditionalists, the county members, don't like it because it's ruining the game. But and online, when you're right, you go on the apps, it still says overs.
It says
so it's a
O,
little O at the top of the column.
O, and an R, and a W.
Yeah.
I gather W still stands for wicket. So they call that something else too, don't
No,
they?
Can't
you're
call
allowed
them
to
runs
say
anymore.
wickets, but it is purely, we get told you have to call it balls, which it is. It's 100 balls.
Yeah.
They can't be asked to change the kind of graphics on.
Yeah. But it has confused people because a couple of weeks ago, there have been a couple of good, not sets of 5. Kyron Pollard hit 5 sixes in a row, absolutely launched them. Did he get? Was it Rashid Khan?
It was
Rashid Khan.
Yeah, and then in the final, first major tournament in 3 years for Saqib Mahmood, got 3 wickets and 4 dots and 7 balls to change the course of the final. So,
Kyron Pollard, he got out for naught in the final. Didn't hit a ball. He missed 4.
Missed 4, so he nearly chewed up a whole set.
Hey, don't say set, Gilly.
Sorry, 4. I tell you, who might have ambushed this is Manscaped, because they love talking about balls.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do.
So they could be right there. The segment sponsor. That's done. We'll let them know.
Yeah.
They always working, Gilly. Was it a good tournament, Vaughany? I know you called a lot of it.
The final weekend was great. The eliminator. It went to so the elimination on Saturday. It was the Birmingham Phoenix playing the Southern Brave. Liam Livingston's in. They needed 11 off 5. Akil Hussain, left-arm spinners bowling for Liam Livingston. 5 balls to go, 11 required. He bowls a no ball and gets whacked for a 6.
Oh.
So they now need off 5 deliveries 3 with Liam Livingston on strike. And he's got a free hit. And he's got a free hit. And they tie.
Right. Okay, so it's one of those sort of tournaments, is it? Right. Okay. Right. Going back to the 90s.
And is it called a tie? Is it definitely called a tie?
Yeah, it's always a tie.
When it's a tie, what do you have? A super set of 5 balls?
Super 5. Super 5.
Super 5.
So then the king of the Super 5 or the Super Overs, Joffre, comes out. He only gets hit for 7. Yeah. And then Chris Jordan whacks a few, and the Braves are through to the final. So the last weekend was great. Lords on Sunday, 28,000, magnificent. The women's game in the afternoon, the Spirit, the biggest crowd at Lords for a women game, over 22,000 saw that. It went up against Raygun and the Olympics, which was, in my opinion, stupid scheduling. They should have nipped it somewhere further down or before the Olympics. So the viewership figures were down year on year from the previous 3 years. But I have to say, on a serious, usually when you leave the ground in England at night, on a test match day or one day international day, you walk out of any of the ground and you will cop some shit. There'll be some pissed up idiots who are just there, been on the gas all day. I have no complaints about that. They've had a great time, but they'll give you a load of shit. When you walk out the 100 ball game, it's just kids, little kids wanting selfies. There's a completely different vibe. So it has created a newer family audience, but it really it's a bit like Brexit. People either want it in or out. It
seemed like a good idea at the time.
It's a hot topic in the UK, but I like it.
Vaughany, can I ask you, what sort of shit are they shouting at one of their best captains they've ever had as they're leaving the ground?
And can you record it next time?
There's a lot of Aussies in England, Prof.
I hope it's the Aussies, because I'm okay with that.
Next time, lads, I'll be like this.
Yeah.
Say it again for me.
Yes.
Keep shouting the abuse. And I think in the UK now, if you shout abuse at people, I think you get locked up. You're in prison.
Right.
So I'll film them.
Yeah.
Send it through to the office that deal with that kind of stuff, and they'll be locked away. And then my filming of my glasses at the minute isn't working, which is slightly confusing.
I guess the problem is if they get locked away for that, Vaughany, you might share a cell with them, because I don't think it's illegal to film people without their knowledge.
Good point.
Good point. The two of you in there together. Now,
good point.
There is a big test match that is taking place tomorrow. I can't undersell this.
Who's playing?
Well, Gilly, England is playing Sri Lanka. Now, there's a few big talking points that we need to talk about. In particular, well, as I said in my intro, the Bazball co-creator Ben Stokes will not be playing Vaughany, and instead Ollie Pope, the old vice captain, takes charge. What does this mean for the English team? Will they still be Bazballing, or will they be doing a version of Pope ball?
They'll be well. Stokesy's there. He's going to be with Baz.
Okay.
So you can only imagine what the balcony's going to be talking about. It won't be cricket. They'll carry on. I mean, the Sri Lankans actually in their warm-up game lost to what you could argue was an England under-19 team. There was a few younger players that played in that game and did well. A couple of really good young players. Hamza Sheikh's a quality player. He's only 18. He got 9-1, and Farhan Ahmed, Rayan Ahmed's brother, I think he's 17. Off spinner, he did nicely as well. The Sri Lankans, Jai Sarir, he's in charge. So Ian Bell, he's the batting coach. So, I think we're in for another similar series to what we saw in the West Indies, even though Stokes is not there. Dan Lawrence is going to open the batting from nowhere. I mean, he bats 5 and 6 county, but they're going to throw him first. I actually wrote a column about it at the weekend saying this England team, generally you talk about picking on character. They're picking on just personality. If you're a bit boring and a little bit cricket obsessed, i.e. a Keaton Jennings style personality, you're not getting picked. You've got to be a dasher, and they're putting a dasher in first at the top of the order. I'm not too sure whether that's correct. I just can't imagine in a year's time if there's an injury to Duckett or Crawley. Can you envisage a Dan Lawrence walking out against Jasprit Bumrah and Shami and Cummins and Stark? I'm not too sure about that.
Speaking of that series, speaking of that series you just mentioned there against the West Indies, beforehand, there were a couple of storylines. Firstly, to mention Kavem Hodge, friend of the pod, incredible century in a few runs afterwards. But someone stole the show of Jimmy. Gus Atkinson, 12 for at Lords, looked nearly unplayable. He's obviously named to start with Matthew Potts, Mark Wood and Shub Bashir bowling. And Jamie Smith, now we mentioned him briefly, didn't we? He wasn't even one of the 10 keepers that were mentioned first time.
We mentioned so many, I don't remember.
Hitting some of the biggest sixes I've ever seen.
Yeah, well,
someone who doesn't keep for his county.
We were told to keep that selection under the radar and mention everyone else. It was kind of a little bit of a memo that went around. He's a player.
Oh, yeah.
Did he catch him?
He's caught.
That's
he's
not
caught
important,
him already.
Gilly.
He's caught enough already. They look. I mean, the West Indies they're not a great side, unfortunately. But he is a proper player. He's a good player.
Will he be?
Gus Axton's nippy. Gus Axton bowls with a little bit of nip, bit of pace. They're gearing it all towards Australia in a year and a half's time. That's what they're planning early. They're getting all their candidates.
That was going to be my question. Will Smith be the keeper in Australia in 15 months' time?
Yeah.
All right. I better start looking at it.
They've been launching them out of the park.
Did you just say I better start looking at him? Yeah,
better keep an eye on him from here on in.
I think he hit 6 of something. It was in the 90s and hit 6 of something like 115 metres. Is that the biggest one? Like leaving the whole of Lords. It was remarkable.
Did you get more for that?
If you're KP, he gives 12.
That's right. Based on the Kevin Peterson rule.
We haven't seen KP this summer. I think he's out with the Rhinos in South Africa. We've not seen him in the UK this summer.
Oh.
I saw he posted a video of some lions mating. I'm not sure what that was about. But he did.
It was somebody with the surname Peterson. It was their photography, and they had sent him a bunch to post. I don't know if it was a relative.
Okay.
But I saw that. The first thing was 2 lions.
He's often asked to come on from the fans.
Yeah,
and he could ask, you know.
Vaughany, reach out to KP.
Actually,
could do.
Other storylines. out of that Test series. So no Jofra Archer. Vaughany, have I missed a storyline there? He's obviously just played
next
year.
year.
But there's
him back,
still an eye on
bringing him back gently. They hope to give him a test or two next summer, and then obviously he won't play all the tests in Australia. But if you could get 2 out of Jofra for the Ashes, that'll do. Mark Wood is bowling the speed of light.
Yeah. Will he get to 100?
97 miles an hour. He bowled a spell at Trent Bridge. And then he actually didn't get many wickets, and then he got his rewards at Edgbaston a few days later, but bowling very, very fast.
All right, well, what about a prediction for that first Test, gents?
England will win inside 4 days.
Okay.
Gilly? Where's that?
Old Trafford.
Not that matters. I reckon 3 days for England.
Well, I only say 4 because there's a bit of rain around.
Okay. Right.
Thursday, Friday. So it actually might take 5 because of the rain. We're in Manchester, so that's a given that it's going to piss it down. It's where Australia obviously were saved last year.
Mind you,
with the rain.
What about the Sri Lanka team? They just beat a very good Indian side. I know it's ODIs 2-0 and tied the third. Well, which was the first.
They've got no chance.
Not 5 days. No.
The West Indies did have your guys on the back foot a couple of times. There was opportunity for the West Indies. So any vulnerability there?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But then within an hour, the whole game had turned back towards England with one partnership or 4 or 5 quick wickets. So, the vulnerability is England plays such an expansive game with the bat. If anyone bowls half decent, there's a chance they're going to get bowled out. They play so many shots. But the West Indies it's a shame they just don't have enough. They play good cricket for a short period, but they just haven't got enough to do it for 3 or 4 days on the trot.
Speaking of, have you seen, guys? I mean, it's got millions of views. What the pitch was it pitched during Providence? They're probably playing West Indies, South Africa right now. Yeah. I think nearly the whole South African batting lineup were just clean bowled because Shamar Joseph.
Man.
I don't think any team got over 250 runs in the 4 innings.
Yeah.
It is a lively wicket in series over there, but South Africa obviously 1-0 up. But I don't know if you've seen some of those clips, the reverse swing and early on. It is remarkable.
No, I hadn't seen that. I'll take your word for it. It sounds good. He's just nominated for the Big Bash draft, I noticed. So that's
that's good.
That's good for him.
And they're still called overs in the Big Bash, aren't they? Or are they?
I believe so. Yes.
Rashid Khan pulled out again, and David Warner's signed for the whole amount of it.
Oh, that's
Big Bash.
There you go. Good news. Good news.
Yeah.
I thought Warner was commentating. I thought he joined us on the Foxy team.
As of today on X/Twitter, he's committed to the Thunder.
He signed on with Fox Cricket about 3 years ago. He hasn't turned up yet, but no, he'll be part of the commentary early in the summer in some of the tests, and then I believe he'll be released to go and play for the Sydney Thunder.
Mm-hmm. Hey, is it correct they're playing a T10 tournament in the Cayman Islands as we speak?
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? I'm pretty sure I've seen Dave Warner, Alex Hales.
Hershey Gibbs is coach of one of my old opening partner in IPL days, Herschel.
Yeah.
Are you trying to work out how we get a gig working on that, Vaughany?
Yeah, well, I'm just interested with the team. What are the team names? I mean, we're almost running out of names for cricket teams. There's that many.
Yeah.
We'll have a little look.
Cayman bank accounts, I think they're called.
Run by Alan Stanford is the
He's the commissioner.
Now, gents, I hate to do this to you, but I have 2 young children that are standing out the front of their daycares wondering where Daddy is. So if we as people know that love this show, Ollie is the quiz master. And for Series 8, Episode 1, do you have a doozy for us, Ollie?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's sort of a bit of Vaughany, bit of Gilly, bit of England, bit of Sri Lanka.
Love it.
Test series side of things. But it's not all higher and lower this time. There's a bit of a mix bag. So let's start with question number 1. These 2 nations, England and Sri Lanka, have played in 17 test series. How many of those series have England won? So this is the nearest gets the
pin.
Point.
What? Go on, Ollie.
17 test series between England and Sri Lanka. How many have England won?
I'm going to go England 9.
Well, I think we've won everyone at home. 8.
Wow, the break hasn't done anything. Gilly, 9. Bang on. There you go.
Very good, girl.
5 to Sri Lanka, 3 draws.
Mm.
As they're divvied up there in those series. Number 2. What is higher, Gilly's test average against Sri Lanka or Vaughany's?
Right.
I got Murray quite a few times.
You got
Got
a
him
hold of
out,
him,
or
I dogged him for 100 on day 5 in Candy and blocked the shit out of it.
100 day 5 in Candy's going all right. Jesus.
Yeah, I just padded him when they didn't give you out LBW.
I got him 100. I got him 100 in Candy as well.
Day 5?
No, shit, no. Real early. I'm going to say, geez, they must be very close.
They are, yeah.
Ooh, what else?
Can I get any against them in the UK?
Trying to think if.
Don't answer, Ollie.
Australia.
I'm going to go Gilly.
I'm going to go Vaughany is higher.
41.94 for Vaughany. 42.5 Gilly.
Jesus, half a run in it, was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
and you were bang on there. I think Vaughany, your top score against him was 115 or so, and Gilly, you were 140. So they were the matches I think you're speaking about.
I just very quickly, I know you got to go, but in that innings in Candy, I still can't pick Murley, but there was one ball where I survived long enough and he served me out this big doosra. So I pitched outside off and spinning into me. For some reason, it became obvious. I saw it and I was that happy. I just ran down and swung as hard as I possibly could and absolutely moosed it out of the ground. I've been telling you, I can't pick you. I ran down, just swatted him back. He's looking at me going, what do you want about? It was the best feeling I've ever had in cricket, I reckon. Finally, I picked one from Murley and absolutely cashed in.
Love it. Did you get more runs for that 6? No.
Yeah, I got extras. I got
12. Okay, in the England-Sri Lanka series, in history, only one player has 2 double centuries. Who is it?
In England and
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lankan series.
I know it. It's Marvin Atapatu. I think.
Gilly.
Just for fun, I'll go Kumar Sangakkara.
Oh, it might be Mahela Jayawardena.
It's Joe Root.
Is it?
It's Joe Root.
We didn't even consider an Englishman, did we?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
He's
Yeah.
had 2, has he?
He's had 2. Yeah.
He's churning them out again this summer.
Yeah.
He's chasing down Sachin.
He looks hungry. He does.
Yeah, Ricky Ponting said he thinks he's the guy who can get
He's
Sachin.
going to get him? Oh,
yeah. He's been doing all sorts of records. You've mentioned them there. Number 4, Kumar Sangakkara played 22 tests against England. Is that higher or lower than Mahela Jayawardena?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a one test in
lower.
This, isn't it? I'm going higher.
Kumar 22, Mahela 23. So lower, Vaughany. There you go.
Well, we got Vaughany up 2, Gilly 1.
Question
Gilly
5.
needs to get this one.
We have got a tiebreak if we need it. The last time these sides met in a test series in 2021, Gaul, who was England's top wicket taker?
In that test match?
In that series. There were
in the whole series?
I think they're both from Gaul, actually.
It would have been COVID time, wouldn't it?
COVID, yeah.
I mean, those pitches were absolutely ragging.
Yeah, correct.
Leachy?
Was it Leachy, or did we have someone? Was there an off spin that we had?
Yeah, it was someone a bit obscure who's never been sighted again, I reckon. But I'll stay with Leach.
I think Leach is right. It's not Rooty, is it? Rooty didn't have a.
The answer is an off spinner. Dom Bess.
Dom Bess, yes.
With 12.
That's it.
He got 12, Jack Leach 10, and Embeldinia 15 for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's Dharma.
Led the series.
So is that a win to?
It's a win.
Congratulations,
Win to
England.
Vaughany.
Congratulations,
Well
Vaughany.
done, skipper. Good work. Good work.
A win first up. All right. Hey, gents, that is the end of the first pod, Series 8. Thank you so much for joining us. So good to see you.
One last thing to do very
faces.
quickly, Prof. It'd be remiss not to, particularly given the whole show's based around it. And this is a
I was
blatant
gonna-
little plug.
yes.
I bought, look at this beautiful looking little
La
tequila
Puglia.
bottle. The Pula. It's, that's a beautiful, beautiful Blanco there that I got over in Mexico. But I've added, for the sake of time, added the Tabasco, the required amount. And this is a very quick toast, in all seriousness, heartfelt, and particularly to the Englishman amongst us, R.I.P. Graham Thorpe. What a sad, tragic loss to cricket. What a superstar player. Very envious as an opponent watching him bat. He was very easy on the eye. Always jealous of how classy and cool he looked, even though little did we know he felt under siege himself so much. But it was a pleasure to play against him. And Vaughany, I got no doubt, would have been a pleasure playing with him. So cheers to Thorpe.
Cheers, Jockey.
Well said.
Well,
There you go.
Well, there you go. All right, gents. Thank you very much. We will see you next week. We're going to be doing a few of these in a row. And then
we're down for 7 or 8, then a few weeks off before we get into the Aussie summer, which is big. And we have a big sponsor for it coming on board as well.
What?
But yeah, we do indeed. But yeah, we've got a few of these, which obviously this series, by the way, ends with some England-Australia action, which we're looking forward to in some early on.
yes,
I think we'll be bidding for 100 ball teams.
In no time. In no time.
and obviously at that point, Vaughany will be the coach of that English side. taking
Well,
on
we would all be the backroom team, surely.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely.
Well,
All
if
right,
we
gents.
get a team and your coach, that's where I start my rebuild for the 2028 Olympics.
Heard it here first. Very good. All right, folks, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Adios.
Well, remarkably, you've watched the show. Thank you. That's all I can say. And if you really like it, press something, I don't know, something on the screen, press it, or subscribe. That'd be really handy. It'd be really nice. Thank you.